Hi, my name's Matt Philippi, and this is a video on how to connect Tableau to Amazon Aurora. It's part of a series of videos on how to use the Tableau connectors to connect to various data sources. If I open Tableau here, you can see that there's all these data connectors right here. It's important to know that if I go to Help about Tableau, you can see I have Tableau Desktop Professional Edition. You will need Professional Edition in order to have access to all of these connectors, and today we're going to talk about Amazon Aurora and how to get connected to that. We will be using AWS, a cloud service, so I like to let people know it's your responsibility to understand security and costs associated with these services. I won't be using security best practices and I won't be going into the cost, but if you want to use this and do this, it's your responsibility to understand it. We have 6 steps we're going to go through here. We're going to launch a AWS Aurora instance. We're going to connect to that instance to MySQL Workbench. We're going to create a database and a table, put a tiny little bit of data in there. Then we're going to connect the Tableau to AWS Aurora. And then we're going to extract some data in Tableau and then create a dashboard. And then finally we're going to delete the AWS Aurora instance. Step 1, we're going to launch an AWS Aurora instance. So I'm already logged into AWS here. I'm at my dashboard. You can always go to your dashboard by clicking the cube above. So recently visited RDS, but down here if you go down to database, you have database RDS. I am in the Northern California region. I'm just going to click get started here. I can select different databases. We're going to do Amazon Aurora. I'm going to select the smallest one here. Just call this Tableau DB. I'm going to create a basic username. I'm going to create a basic password. Next step. Okay, default VPC. I'm going to use the default security group here. Skip these things down here. So database port 3306, that's important to know. That'll come in later. And then I'm ready to launch it. And I'll pause it. Okay, it says my database is being created, and we can go to view DB instances. It's creating, and I'm going to pause it here. It'll probably take 5 to 10 minutes to create. Probably more like. The database is available. Took between 5 and 10 minutes, definitely less than 10 minutes. And which brings us to our next step. We're going to want to connect to MySQL Workbench. So go back to our dashboard for this instance here. And we want to copy this cluster endpoint name right here. So I'm going to copy it. It's important you want the whole thing except for the colon and the port. We don't need that, so just all the way to the .com. Copy that. We're going to go to MySQL Workbench here, and unfortunately I can't show the whole thing here, so I'll have to move it around, but go to Database, Manage Connections. Okay, we're going to create a new, let me move this up here, new connection. I'm going to call this Aurora. Standard TCP IP, copy the host, paste. Okay, remember, just goes to .com, don't put the colon or the port because the port is already in here. When I created the instance, I created a username and a password. I'm going to test the connection. Didn't spell Tableau correctly. Helps to do the username correctly. Now I'll do my password. And I'm going to test the connection. Successfully made the SQL connection. Okay. So again, that's right here, test the connection. Okay, so since we did new, this is already going to be saved. I'm going to close it. Then I'm going to go back to database. I'm going to go to connect to database. So the store connection, this will be the default because it's the only one in there right now. I'm going to click OK. And then you can see it's already in here. So I was working in here before, and there's actually a database left over, so I'm just going to drop that database, Aurora, and we want to get rid of that. Okay, so hit this thing here. So you shouldn't have anything here now. So there's no database objects or anything. So we're going to create those right now, and I already just wrote a script here, so we don't have to write it out again. We're going to create a database, then we're going to create a table with a column, then we're going to put a value in that column, and then make sure that it's all there. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to run that. Okay, create database, create the table, insert a value, maybe put some more values in here, blue. How about yellow? We'll do the primary colors. Yellow. Okay, and then just check and see what's in there. Okay, so we just ran that. We can see red, blue, yellow. So our table is populated, and now we're ready to connect to Tableau. So before we do that, just quickly, if you don't see this over here, you can click this ellipsis button right here, and it'll show you your database. So click right here, show you the database and all the objects in that database. So we just actually did two steps here. Connect to the MySQL Workbench, then we created a database in the table. Now we're going to connect to Tableau Desktop Professional. So I'm going to open up Tableau here, and you should be able to see down here it says more data connectors, but Amazon Aurora is right here. And then remember the endpoint that we had copied back here, this endpoint that we had copied. We're going to put that in here. Oh, that's my statement, so I'm going to have to go back and copy this real quick. Copy it. Okay, I accidentally got the colon in there, so I'll need to make sure that I delete that. Delete the colon. Put my username in when I originally launched the instance and my password. Sign in. Okay, there's the endpoint name right here. And then I can select my database right here. So there's that color database that we just created. Okay, so we're on actually step 5 now. Create the database, connect to Tableau Desktop using the Aurora connector, and now we're going to extract table data and create a dashboard. So since I'm here in my color table, you can drag that table up here, and then I go with extract. Update now. It's going to delete those 3 values that we put in there. And then I'm going to want to go to my worksheet. It's going to ask me to save here because we downloaded and extracted the data. Okay. So now I'm ready to create a little dashboard. We can just do something really simple and basic here. Double click on the name, double click on the number of records, take the name, I'll put the color in here, double click on that, edit the colors. Oh hey, I want blue to be blue, and I want red to be red, and I want yellow to be yellow. Hit apply. Maybe I want it to look like that. So there's one record yellow, one red, one blue. And with that, we are connected to our Aurora instance and with Tableau, and we're ready to work. So the final step here is I'm in here in Tableau. I'm all done working. I don't need this database anymore. So for me personally, I'm going to go back out to my RDS dashboard. RDS. I'm going to go find that instance. I'm going to go delete that instance. I'm going to go find it. Instance action, delete. Okay. And then I won't be paying for this database anymore. Okay, so we finished. Again, connecting Tableau to Amazon Aurora. We actually did an intermediate step of creating a database and using MySQL Workbench, but if you already have your database Aurora active, then you can skip this part and go directly to Tableau Analytics. So thanks for listening. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll put more videos out like this, and if you want to connect with me, I can be found on LinkedIn, Matt Philippi. Thank you.